What's going on? Is this thing on? Okay. Hey, everyone. I just want to say that, I love my wife. I love my children. I don't understand how it ended up being more than one child. When I said I only wanted one child, somebody disrespected me. I have not been being treated like the husband. Somebody been treating somebody else like they was the husband and been treating me like the baby daddy or some kind of DeadBeat or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm here by myself right now. The children, what's going on? The wife, what's going on? If I saved the children's life, and God used me as a vessel, so all credit, I owe it all to God, of course, but I am the vessel that was used, in October of 2006. Thank you, God, for using Brandon, right? The children, are you glad? And when a child was trying to push Lord Gerald out the bed, and God used me as the vessel to save his life. Thank you, God, for using Brandon as the vessel. And when the girl was trying to drink the alcohol, and I told her not to drink the wine, thank you, God, for using Brandon as the vessel to save her life. Something seems wrong, because if I was there, why am I not being, treated like the husband, and I'm sitting here in his wheelchair in his room by myself with my hugs and with my kisses, with my love, It seemed like somebody done did me wrong. So, today, the date, of course, if I can get it on the screen, I'm not that good with these electronics. Okay, so it says the date and the time and the recording, of course. So, my name, according to the marriage license and birth certificate, says a Brandon. And the date of birth with the year of 1984, of course, I am 38 years old today, So, I'm almost 40, so I'm kind of old, So, I know I'm ugly, and I know I'm disabled, and I know I'm not rich, and, certain people say that, I'm nasty or something. They don't like the food that I eat, Because, I would cook food, sometimes when people would be, there, and they would act like they don't want to eat the food that I cooked, People that said they were friends and family and people that, claim to be part of a family, So, some people act like they don't like rice, Some people act like they don't like any of the food I make, you know? And it's crazy, you know? Because I was watching the news, you know, and they was talking about that they was locking some of the food up and stuff like that. And, you know, I have to do that these days. I have to, like, try to lock the food up or, you know, stuff like that when I go back and forth to the stove, you know. Sometimes it seems like somebody been to put some poison in the food, you know. So I guess I ate my poison today, you know. I must have a good immune system because, you know, it slowed me down for a little bit, you know. And I noticed that something didn't seem right about the food, you know. So I'm like, it's crazy. Because, you know, somebody, you know, seem like they have a problem with me making my own choices. And if the food was going to be poison, it's like, can I pick my own poison at least? I don't need you poisoning the food for me, you know. I didn't ask for my food to be poisoned. I didn't ask for someone to poison my food, you know. You know, it seems like a violation of my choice. And, you know, this whole situation seems like a violation of my choice, you know. That first choice, you know. Choosing to be married. Choosing to only have one child. My own child, of course, you know. Not, you know, a designer baby. Not a genetically modified child. Not, you know, a breeded and seeded form of something that I don't even know what it is, you know. Somebody did something wrong, a violation of my choice because I did not choose for those situations to happen, you know. So there's some colors on the screen and, you know, it's a lot of cameras and stuff in the city of Macon, Georgia, where I am. And, you know, I've been yelled at and people have said a lot of mean stuff to me, you know. And they have been different colors, you know. So one day I was outside and, you know, I just did not want that bad energy inside of me. So I started screaming and yelling and saying stuff, you know, and trying to get that bad energy back out of me, you know. And, you know, the same way that they yelled and screamed at me and said all bad stuff about different colors and the color of my skin. Well, when I yelled and screamed, I guess it was the same energy of saying bad stuff about different colors of different skin the same way. Because, you know, if it's the same energy that they gave me, and I did not want it inside of me, if it did not look good and it did not sound good when they gave it to me, then it probably would not look good and it probably would not sound good, you know, when I got it out of me and put it back in the environment or sent it back to wherever it came from, as long as it is not with me, of course, you know. So I do apologize if anyone was mad or upset or hurt or offended at any of the words or phrases or sayings that you have ever heard me say, you know. Because, you know, I was told in the family court of Jefferson County, you know, that I am the father, the dad, legally of, you know, children, you know, 3 children, And I would not want to seem like a deadbeat dad, And since the children are not here in person and my wife is not here in person, of course, I don't know how I'm supposed to carry a wheelchair from Georgia to Alabama long distance on a trip like that, Especially considering, that I used most of my money, to pay all the rent and make sure that all of the bills, are accounted for every month, with the money that I have had since I have been in Georgia since the year of 2014. And it's crazy because, some people, was wondering, why is it when he is here in Georgia, without that family around? And what I mean by that family, those people that said they were sisters and brothers and aunts and grandmothers and all of that and fathers and stuff. Why is it that he has no problem paying the whole rent? He doesn't have any victims. He doesn't get into fights with people no matter how mean they are to him. He's never attempted to purchase or buy a gun. With all the cameras on the streets, he's never tried to purchase a gun illegally. And at a store or at a business, he's never tried to purchase a gun. From 2014, it's been almost 10 years, according to today's date. It seems like someone from the other state was involved with telling lies about the character of a Brandon Johnson. Because, according to the family court, every home evaluation at every court date that a Brandon went to, a Brandon had a home. The home passed inspection. And the whole time a Brandon has been in Georgia, with the money that a Brandon has had, a Brandon has always made sure that rent and bills for the whole month, was paid, whether the wife or the children were here or not. So the problem is not with a Brandon spending money. The problem is not with a Brandon paying bills and rent. Because if a Brandon was a problem, when they separated a Brandon into a room by himself at a family court in a jail cell, in the year of 2015, 2016, and 2017, there were no fights then. Not with a Brandon being an aggressor or a fighter or a troublemaker. No. Now, since this is America and, I was taught, you might not like everything a person says and you might not like the way that they say it, but I respect your right to say it, So, I'll say it at regular speed, at regular tone. You might not like everything I say, and you might not like the way that I say it, but this is America, and you're supposed to respect my right to say it. Freedom of speech. You don't have to like what I say. You don't have to like how I say it. You don't have to like my tone, but you have to respect my right to say it. So, there was some videos of when I called on the phone trying to talk to children and somebody said they don't like the way I'm talking or that I have to talk a certain way or when you talking in the right voice or when you speak in a certain way. But when I know different languages and when I got different dialects and when I got different tones and when it's different ways on different days and my name is Brandon Johnson or my name is Brandon Johnson or my name is Brandon, when I speak in different tones in different ways, you can't make me be a singular person. You can't make me be the type of person that speak one language, one dialect, one tone. No. Something is wrong with this situation, Because, there's a link in the description of when I call the children and all of that. Somebody was on the phone talking about something. You got to talk a certain way. You got to say it a certain way. But when you talking in the right tone, or when you talk, I don't like this voice. I don't like that voice. It's like, it's not for you to like. It's my voice, and I say it the way I say it. It's the way I was taught. Maybe I didn't like being told stuff that I was told. I mean, there's videos of people yelling and screaming at me. I didn't leave and go to another hotel. I didn't call the police or press charges. I told that guy, I'm like, the so-called family that I come from, just like you can see in the videos on the phone, they cuss me out and be mean to me all the time. Somebody got an attitude problem. Who got an attitude problem? Some people act like if you say something to them, oh, you said this to me. How dare you say this to me? It should cost you your life. No. If I said something to you that you don't like, if the punishment's supposed to match the crime, then all you can do is say something to me that I don't like. A word for a word, When I was growing up, they had a game, they called it playing the dozens or cracking on people or janking on people or something like that, or teasing. Some people that can dish it out but can't take it, I didn't storm off from the hotel and burn the building down and try to destroy the property because somebody yelled and screamed at me, Now, this is America, and you can say whatever you want to say, and, I respect your right to say it, but, some of that stuff that them people said to me was actually a crime in Georgia because there's terroristic threats when you say that you're going to get a group of people and you're going to have them do something to me. Yeah, that's actually a crime. So it was actually me, the one that showed mercy and showed grace, in that situation. Because, yeah, I actually had the right to press charges, So, yeah, that way. So that would make me the good guy in the situation. Because, I was the one putting money in their pocket, It's not like they putting any money in my pocket, because when you pay for a service, whether it's at a hotel or a store or a business, they're not doing me any favor, because if all of the customers just left the hotel and didn't go to none of the stores, they would go out of business. So, it's like I'm actually being a provider, for him and his family and the people at those places because, if the whole community left, and said they don't want to support any of these businesses where people was mean to a Brandon at, well, you can't be the boss of nothing, so those types of situations. So, some people, need to be more positive with their attitude and, learn how to, like I heard, the customer is always right. That's the way I growed up, for the elders out there, because, some people seem to not have no home training. Now, I know I'm not the only one that heard that, right? They said a customer is always right. Customer service, customer service. So when you want to be the boss of a business, and when you want to claim you in charge and in control, and the customer is always right, get it right, get it right. That's the way I was taught. So, as you can see on the screen, I am a victim of marriage abuse because, a lot of this abuse that I'm talking about happened while, being married for me, because I am married, of course. And I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual abuse because, I am 38 years old today, still surviving, still married. And, people disrespected me and I did not kill anyone. So, if you look at the words on the screen right next to all of those colors and balls and squares, it says, I told Yatrell's mom not to have an abortion. They say I saved his life. I stopped the child from killing Lord Gerald. They say I saved his life. I stopped Trinity's mom from drinking alcohol while she was pregnant. They say I saved her life. Trinity, of course. Because when Trinity's mom was pregnant and, people tried to influence Trinity's mom to drink alcohol, Brandon Johnson, stopped Trinity's mom from drinking alcohol at 1609 6th Street North, Apartment X. And they say I saved Trinity's life, is what they say. And they say I saved Trinity's mom life, is what they say. Because, spiritually, she would have been responsible for any damages that happened to Trinity if she would have drank in that alcohol. And since there's no such thing as an innocent bystander in those types of situations, I was doing my job of making sure that the mom did not get hurt and that Trinity did not get hurt. So, it seems like something is wrong in this situation because since Trinity is the third child of a marriage, according to the Family Court of Jefferson County, where is, their evidence of saying, thank you, God, for using a Brandon to help Trinity's mom and to help Trinity, especially when Trinity, was an unborn child and Trinity's mom was influenced to drink alcohol and I stopped Trinity's mom from drinking alcohol. Trinity Johnson, Trinity's mom, where are they? This is the thanks I get. It's the same way with Yatrell, When Yatrell's mom was pregnant with Yatrell and someone influenced her to have an abortion because of what Jamel looks like, with God as my witness, I can say that I was at 2501 20th Street, Ensley, in the backyard. And the person that, was identified as the mom of Yatrell looked at me and said, someone influenced her or something or, was making her think that, she should not have the baby and that she should get an abortion. And it was not me that told her that, someone else was being given, some kind of authority or some kind of, I don't know, position to tell her what to do or something like that. I don't really understand if it was supposed to be my child and my girlfriend and my wife or my baby mama. It's weird because who would the someone else have been that was telling her because of what Jamel looks like? She was thinking about having an abortion and getting rid of the baby, Yatrell. And I was the one that said, no, don't do it. So I guess she listened to me and she gave me the authority. But it seems like it was kind of a wishy-washy situation, like, because to even be considering the opinion of someone else seems kind of not 100, Because I don't believe in those 50-50 relationships. You know, it's the way I was taught. A relationship is not 50-50. You got to be given a whole 100, not 50-50. Because if you're giving 50% into the relationship, where is the other 50% going? I don't pay 50% of the rent every month. I don't pay 50% of the bills every month, you know. When I pay 100%, you know, the whole rent, including all of the bills, you know, and there is no bills or rent for the mom to pay because I pay it all. I don't understand the 50-50 part. Because if you're supposed to get out what you put in, how am I getting 0%? Because where are the children? Where is their mom? Where is my wife? And why am I just here alone? Alone in a room. You know, stuff like that. So, you know, it was the same thing with Lord Gerald. Since there was supposed to only be one child, and he was the second child. And they say I saved his life because, you know, it's what they say. I stopped the child from killing Lord Gerald and pushing him out the bed, you know. And when they said he was in Eastlake and it was 2 other children abusing him in foster care, I drove a car to Eastlake, you know. And I told them, you know, they better leave my baby alone or I'm going to do something. I didn't tell them what I was going to do. I did not make a threat to myself or others. It is not my fault if the fear of the Lord. Gerald Johnson's parents. Religion. Spirituality. Would do to them if they tried to hurt my Gerald. You know? So I don't know about those other Geralds, but they better not be hurting my Gerald. Not my Gerald. Not my Lord. Not my Trinity. Not my Yatrail. Keep your hands off my Gerald. Keep your hands off my Trinity. Keep your hands off my Yatrail. That way. It's the way I feel about it. My Gerald. My Trinity. My Yatrail. My family. You know? Because I was told just because you didn't ask for some don't mean you can't get it. You know? My thumb buddies. What you know about my thumb buddies? Thumb buddies, where you at, baby? Thumb buddies, nookies. 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 Do my sheep heal my voice? Nookies. Nookies. I don't need they cookies. I give my children nookies. I don't need they Duke buddies because I already got me some thumb buddies. My thumb buddies know who they is. Thumb buddies, thumb buddies. I don't need your cookies because, you know, my children already got nookies. Nookies. I know all my children know what I'm talking about when I talk about thumb buddies. And when I talk about nookies. Now, I don't know nothing about that new stuff or none of that stuff because, you know, I never been a fan of that new stuff. But if you want to talk about some nookies, ask my children. If you want to know what thumb buddies is, ask my children. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to know where my wife is or who my wife is and all of that, well, if you look at the information on the screen, my wife should be the person, that's saying, thank you, Brandon, for believing in God in a way to where God actually used you, Brandon, to save the children during those times on the screen when people tried to do bad stuff to them, even if it was them doing bad stuff to each other. Thank you, God, for using a Brandon as a vessel, because I owe it all to God, because I am not the Savior. God is, And, God is like a mother. God is like a father. God is like a brother. God is like a sister. And when no one else is around, God is like a lover, And I'm not talking about sex, baby. Because sex is not love and love is not sex. So when I say God is like a lover, that is why I'm not a threat to myself or others. Because the love that God provides makes me not even think about suicide. The love that God provides is the reason I don't even think about suicide. Because the love that God provides is the reason I do not even think about suicide, Anyway. So no, it's saying that somebody treated me bad and treated me wrong, like I said at the start of this video. Because if the mom, of the children, if Trinity's mom is supposed to have a mom and a dad, shouldn't Trinity's mom's family be thanking God and be glad for me that I was there to make sure that Trinity's mom did not drink alcohol and poison the child with the alcohol, and that I stopped her from getting alcohol poison? Shouldn't Trinity's mom family be telling the truth about a Brandon actually being there, when Trinity's mom was pregnant? Shouldn't Lord Gerald's mom's family, the family of Lord Gerald's mom, shouldn't they be telling the truth about how a Brandon was there, And, shouldn't Yatrell's mom and their family, her mom and dad, shouldn't they be telling the truth about how a Brandon was there, when Yatrell almost died in October, of 2006, and I drove to the hospital, and I did not look the other way, and I did not care about the color of his skin or my skin or the mom's skin or anyone's skin. I did not care about the color of the doctor's skin or the people's skin, because I don't have any victims, I didn't claim to be a vet or in a army or in the military and use that as an excuse, for murder. Like some people do. There's some people that say they're a veteran and they're a war hero and that they killed the people and, they expect a badge and they expect someone to praise them for being a murderer. And if they had a scratch on their body or if their arm or their leg was gone, they would want you to treat them special because, they murdered someone and lost their arm. They murdered someone and lost their leg. But if they were never trying to murder someone in the first place, they probably would not have lost their arm or probably would not have lost their leg. But, I was always told I'm different. A Brandon never tried to murder anyone. So what's wrong with the Brandon's leg? Why does a Brandon have scars on a Brandon's body? A Brandon never hit a person with a car. So when it comes to karma, it was not in my karma for me to ever be in a car accident, you know, because I was told it was not an accident. It was attempted murder. You know, those types of situations. And so it was like, when did all of this happen? When I was 12 years old in the year of 1996. So, you know, they say they was doing insurance scams in that family, you know. There was a house at 1520 65th Street in the Green Acres neighborhood of Birmingham, Alabama. They burned the house down using a kerosene gas heater, you know. They left some furniture in the house to make it look like it was an accident. They wanted it to look like they went to the store and came back and the house was burnt down. The house was so damaged beyond repair, you know, just like my body was damaged beyond repair because the scars are still there, so they did not fade away. But they tried to get rid of the evidence, and when you look at 1520 65th Street in the Green Acres neighborhood of Birmingham, Alabama, the last time I checked, you know, it's an empty lot there now because the house was damaged beyond repair. They got some insurance money for that, you know, and then it wasn't enough for them to get a house. It was a real estate lady named Carboni, Carbbonie, and she was part of the scam. They did not have enough money to get the house that they wanted. So, you know, I was told they set me up in a car accident so that they can claim some insurance money. And then they went to 2501 20th Street, Ensley, because they had enough money to get a house. I told them that I never wanted to go to that house, you know. And, you know, they used my money so that the lady, you know, that was there, they said her name was Yolanda or Big Mama or Willie or something. She got him a car, and she let some dude named Aldwin, a child molester, you know, pick which house to stay in. And all he did, you know, was have sex with underage children, you know. Kimaya's mom, a child, Kimaya, Tyree Williams, something about that Williams family. And, you know, they said that, you know, that's how the children got in these mess, because they said, you know, those Williams family people were kind of related to each other. And that they had set the situation up, you know, for one of those Williams girls to use my trust fund money. And so they was like, you know, one of those girls was just using me for my money because she already made a deal with Aldwin and Jade. You know, that was the other people's name, you know. That's what they said, you know. And then she made a fool out of me. And then somewhere between here and there and then and now, they ended up finding out that I'm different and I'm really not like the other people, and I was never supposed to be in that family around those people. But it's kind of too late now because they made bad karma because they've already done me wrong. And since it was more than one girl that I saw that looked that way, now they all want to claim that they're in love with me and that they're the one. But the whole time this was going on, nobody told me that they were setting me up in a scam and just using me for insurance and life insurance and trust fund money. Isn't it crazy? And so some people say that's why you're in this room alone, Brandon, because no one trusts them anymore. That's why I have unsupervised visitation, and the other people, the court have to watch them, and they don't want me around them, and they don't want us together because someone knows about the situation. Because when a family of Johnson and William people when people just so happen to kept dying in the Williams family, you know, Derek Green murdered at 2928 Avenue T. Ensley. Jeremy Williams, the so-called brother or child or family member of the Williams family, a convicted murderer of Lawrence Jones from the murder of 2001. Their family knows about this. In the month of May 2003, Brandon had a complaint against Jeremy Williams, a person that was already, you know, a suspect for murder in the year of 2001. So Brandon was not lying or bullying someone older than him. Jeremy Williams was actually a murderer that had not been convicted yet because it was the year 2003. So their mom and their aunt and their sisters and their brothers would have some explaining to do from that Williams family, because everyone believes that they set Brandon up to be murdered. And they said there was an insurance policy with the Nationwide insurance company, and that Yolanda said that she was leaving her house to Brandon, and that someone might have tried to change the papers at the insurance company to steal a house from Brandon. You know, all of that information, because Brandon was there. I was there when the insurance man was there, because Gerald asked him, "Are you old? So my dad's going to get a house when Yolanda dies, and you're leaving your house to Brandon. You're going to have a whole house of Brandon. What are you going to do with it?" You know, I couldn't even really answer that question because, you know, one day at a time is the way I was taught, you know. You know, I've never owned a house before because, you know, I usually just pay rent. So, you know, about the investigation that was supposed to be going on, you know, because, you know, sometimes what people do for your bad is really not for your good, but it's not for their good either. Because, you know, when they tried to lock me up when I was 14, instead of saying, "Hey, Brandon, when you were 14, you was working at the Jefferson County JCCEO as a teenager before you went to high school," and instead of them saying, "Congratulations, Brandon, you did a good job working at the age of 14, they locked you up and sent you to boot camp. They got mad at you for working because they said they're going to turn your Social Security check off if you keep trying to work these jobs." I didn't even know I was getting a Social Security check. It's not like they was giving me any other money. They weren't even giving me any other money from a trust fund, you know? Because what happened to my car when I was 16? I got none at all. And it was my money. Seems like I've been done wrong, you know? For the family, for the children, and all of that and all of that. So, no, at 14, you know, I was there on my 15th birthday. People always want to complain about what you did and did not do for somebody's birthday. Well, I was in jail on my 15th birthday with a busted leg, still sick, because, you know, the car accident that's supposed to happen when I was 12, if I still have these scars on my body and I'm still sore and my body still aches to this day, of course, I wasn't all the way healed as a teenager, and I still had, you know, trouble and problems from the accident that I did not hit myself with a car. It was not a self-inflicted injury. And they said it was some pastor and some pastor's wife, you know, that did it, you know. So I don't know what kind of pastor or what kind of pastor's wife or what kind of church they have to where they did this to a child. And they won't face the camera and tell the world that it was them that hit Brandon. It's weird, you know. So, you know, with that Johnson family, you know, they say, you know, if the character of Yolanda Johnson and the character of Willie Johnson, nothing about them matches a Brandon as a mom or as a dad. Are you sure he's their child? And he's not a victim of child trafficking or some kind of sex trafficking or kidnapping or something at birth? Because if the apple don't fall too far from the tree, some people say, I don't see how a Brandon is like Willie Johnson in any way. And I don't see how a Brandon is like Yolanda Johnson in any way. I don't think he's their child. You know, I've been told it. Because they like, you know, he never tried to get the children locked up the way Yolanda kept locking him up. You know, because when she filed a petition when he was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, because, you know, it was like, when he got that job when he was 14, instead of saying you did a good job working as a teenager and nobody didn't even have to make you do it, just like nobody didn't have to make you do these videos, she sent him to a boot camp and he was still there when he was 15. You know, instead of congratulating him, you know, on wanting to get married and wanting to get a girlfriend, you know, since he was locked up when he was 14 and 15 and tired of being around just the boys, because in her family, she supposedly had 4 boys and a grown man, you know, some abusive man named Willie there. Since he wanted to be around girls, you know, he would go out looking for girls and stuff like that, you know, because I like girls, you know, and I was a teenager, a boy, you know. That's what I thought I was supposed to do. So, you know, I got a GED. It's called a high school equivalency at 16, you know. And instead of saying, congratulations, Brandon, you know, on your GED and stuff, you know, it was a man and he wasn't the same color as me. He was a European man. And he gave me $100 for getting my GED. That's why it doesn't matter what color you are. And you have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because when that European man gave me $100 for getting my high school equivalency and GED, there was never a person of any other color that ever gave me any money for getting my high school equivalency certificate or my GED. It was only that European man that helped me when I got my high school equivalency and GED. And you know what else? One time they accused me of stealing some cards out of the store. And that same European man said, you know what? Brandon did not do anything wrong. And it was at the Gaston group home, a place where for some reason I don't understand, instead of congratulating me and saying I did a good job, the person who called themselves Yolanda Johnson or Big Mama, you know, the custodian of the children, the person that would never let me see the children or talk to them on the phone, she had me sent there when I was 16. You know, after I had already been sent there to the Department of Human Resources, DYS, you know, family court, juvenile detention center at the ages of 14, 15, and then 16, you know. So when I came back when I was 16, you know, to the neighborhood, I didn't have to go to high school, so I was able to go to college because the high school equivalency certificate means that, you know, I already had a high school education. But since I like girls so much and I wanted to get married, and, you know, it has to be someone your own age or age appropriate, you know, at least 18 or older if you want to get married, you know. And some people act like they got a problem with a person wanting to marry a girl, you know, when she's 18. Some of the parents or the family members, you know, would act like they wanted to have sex with their own brother or sister or daughter or something, and they would say, she's just 18, she's too young. But it wasn't that she was too young. It was that they just wanted to have sex with her themselves, you know. So I got beat up a lot or whatever because, you know, when you try to be in a relationship with someone and when you try to be married to someone that other people want to have sex with, some people get mad and try to make you fight. And, if you don't want to fight, then it's just called abuse at that point. Because if two people have to fight each other in order for it to be a fight, if I don't fight and someone was just hitting me, it's called abuse. If I did not ask them to do it, Because, according to some religions, some people, whether it's like the Catholic religion, because I went to Catholic school and they would use a paddle or a ruler or a stick and they would give you lashes in the Catholic religion. It happened to me when I was in elementary school. The teacher used a yardstick or a ruler, and her name was Sister Benedicta in Bessemer. And she hit me with that stick, and that's the way I was taught. And they was like, if you did something wrong, sometimes you can confess your sins and ask to be hit with the stick. Whether it's a yardstick or a ruler or the rod of correction, some people would ask to be punished. It's the same way like in Islam, according to the 24th chapter of, the Quran. Some people would say they have sinned and did sexual stuff with other people they should not have did, and can you hit them with a stick or fight them or punish them because they believe in the same God that a lot of religions believe in? Because whether it's a stick or a rod of correction, according to the Bible, that the Christians believe in, or whether it's called lashes, according to the 24th chapter of the Quran, what a lot of people believe in, Or unless, the Catholic way, they use a ruler or a yardstick, different people, believe in God. And some people say they would rather be punished now by a regular person than to be destroyed by the wrath of God. Because if God, can destroy your whole mind, body, and soul, but a person can only do so much, they would rather, just tell the truth than to die at the hands of God, It's the way that I was taught and it was explained to me. So, there's been people that asked me to be the rod of correction and stuff like that, just like August 9th, 2015. And I don't really understand all the details about it or what or why, because, that same day on August 9th, 2015, I was gone ever since August 9th, 2015, 2016, 2017. And then, I went to a mental health court for like 2 years, And then I met a judge, her name was Judge Verda Colvin. I heard she's a Supreme Court judge, and I heard that she got married, It's crazy, because being married, what I learned is that when you're married, right, the same way I did not try to make Judge Verda Colvin or her husband or her marriage answer to me or bow down to me. It's crazy that someone else that claims that they're married would want me to answer to them or bow down to them, according to the marriage rules of fairness and karma. If you claim you're a husband and you claim you're a wife, the same way you would not want your husband or your wife bowing down to someone else's husband or wife, well, you should not ask me to bow down before your husband and before your wife. Because if you don't want your husband or your wife bowing down to me, then you should not ask me or my wife to bow down to you or your husband. Because that's how people make bad karma. So since I never asked anyone's husband to bow down to me, and since I never asked anyone's wife to bow down to me, because I am not God, of course, someone has done something wrong and made bad karma. Because unless you are claiming that you are God and that someone's husband should bow down to you, whoever you are, and unless you are claiming that you're God and someone's wife should bow down to you, whoever you are, I never asked anyone to bow down to me, you know? And it's just crazy because, you know, I'm not the come or petition type for the competition people out there, you know. I'm not a king, so there is no inheritance to gain from me. There is no crown for me to give you. There is no kingdom for me to give you because I am not a king. So for all of those people that wanted to battle or earn rank in a kingdom, you would have to go to whatever king, not me, and whatever it is that you guys do with the king or the queen, it has nothing to do with me because I don't know who your king is and I don't know who your queen is because I'm not part of those types of religion. So I'm not for it or against it. I'm just not associated with those types of practices, you know? So it doesn't matter what color you are, what shape you are, what size you are, what kind of hair you do have or don't have. It's not like I'm trying to have sex with you anyway. I don't want to have sex with you anyway. It doesn't matter to me, you know? I love you all. Believe me, I do. So, you know, about this abuse that I have suffered. Someone in that Johnson family or that Williams family, you know, I was told, I'm not a judge, but I was told that they are guilty of stuff. Of course, Jeremy Williams is guilty of murder, according to, you know, the Jefferson County and Alabama state laws. And they said that some of those people had diseases and stuff. Because this was a girl named Traynice Williams and her baby died. Traynice Williams. And she was supposed to be part of that Linda Williams family. And they said it was some kind of, you know, germs or sick STD stuff that they were, you know, doing. Or some witchcraft. Traynice Williams, a baby named Lauren died, you know. She might need to get checked. Something about, you know, a girl named Stacey Williams, you know, associated with that family. Her baby died. Something about a girl named Shakiria Green or Shakiria or something, a dead baby. They said it might be some kind of disease. She might need to get checked. She might need to get checked. Something about that family, you know, in prostitution and stuff, and giving guys diseases, you know, and those dead babies, you know. Stuff like that, you know. Something sick about incest, you know. And they said that it was others that hid the dead babies, you know. It was something one day I saw a girl named Aisha Hawthorne, the girl that said she had sex with Jeremy Lewis Williams, had a baby named Jemiah. I saw her at the children's hospital with a baby, and I heard one of her babies died, and she tried to hide that that baby existed. And that she has a dead baby, Aisha Hawthorne, you know. And I saw her at the children's hospital with a baby. And it was not Jemiah, and it was not Bud. It was another baby. And she was with some Ethiopian-looking dude, and it was not Jeremy, and it was not her husband. You know, that way. So I wanted the family to know that some of those people may have germs, something about a germ man, you know. It's in the name, right? And so, you know, I love you all. Believe me, I do. And all the officers and the agents should know that those families need to be investigated because I've been having trouble finding my wife and my children.